Hey guys, what is up and welcome to another video. Today we are working on the car again. I'm finally going to solve that idle issue. It wasn't actually the idle air control valve. That kind of did nothing and it's still doing exactly what it was doing. I've already solved the problem. It's kind of embarrassing and a funny story. I'll get to that in a little bit. Rest of the stuff I'm going to do is just kind of get the car ready for the drift event. That's 3 days away on Wednesday. So just going to tidy up everything, make sure everything's good and stable. I'm going to finally put that shielding on the wiring in the boot and get that all zip tied out of the way, so that's all safe. But yeah, let me show you what's been my idle issue this entire time. Okay, so the entire issue that I've been having with my idle, the car wanting to stall out when changing gears or putting my foot on the clutch, and like just, you know, once you rev it up and it comes down, it then wants to stall out, is all because of a Coke bottle cap. Now, I can't blame the Coke bottle cap for this, and this actually isn't the particular Coke bottle cap that caused the problems. What I had done was when I put this awesome Blitz blow-off valve on my car, you know, because I wanted the cool choo-choo sounds like everyone does, you know, it's just a thing. And I was super excited about getting that done, and as you guys know, this normally has a return system on here, so you can see the return pipe here, and normally this big rubber pipe's on there. And I was like, you know what, I don't have a proper bung for that right now, so I'm just going to put a Coke cap in this. And what I did was I pushed the Coke cap all the way to where you can see this hose clamp, right? And I had this hose clamp that was done up over the Coke cap. So it was actually in there really solid and stable and wasn't moving. And I thought it would be okay. Now, I knew that at some point I was going to be replacing this entire piece here that goes down to the turbo, which is where the return line goes. And I knew I was replacing that soon with a proper silicone piece and a proper bung, which you can see here. But I was kind of lazy and was really busy, so I just kind of left it and completely forgot about it actually. And up until then, I've been trying everything. I cleaned the idle air control valve. I thought it was my coolant temp sensor for the ECU, and I've just been trying to troubleshoot it all. And then I just was like, okay, let's go through the basics. And the car was acting like it was getting air that the airflow meter and the ECU didn't know about. So I'm thinking, and I'm like, okay, is this hose split? Is there something in there? And then it triggered, and I'm like, hang on, what if the air's getting in through up here and something's happened to the Coke bottle cap? And I stuck my finger in there, and sure enough, there was no Coke bottle cap. So the entire time when I would rev my engine up and the turbo would start sucking in air, it would suck a little bit of air in through this pipe that the airflow meter didn't know about, and because of that the ECU was getting confused and the engine would just stall out. So yeah, that's what was happening. So I'm going to fix that problem. I'm going to fix it really good, and the best way to fix that is I'm going to finally put in this silicone suction pipe. This goes to the turbo. This goes to the inlet on the, not the inlet, sorry, this is the vent from the cam covers. This is what would normally go up that pipe, but I'm going to completely cut off and remove that pipe so that won't be in my engine bay at all anymore. And we've got this nice bung in there, which I'll put a hose clamp on, of course. And then we're going to put that on and airflow meter will go there. So we're going to do that today. And actually, the whole reason why I was waiting to put this on the car was because I wanted to do video on this, a special video, because, and there's a whole bunch of, I've got another bunch of silicone hoses for pretty much, you know, all the coolant lines, all the radiator hoses and stuff like that, because that is one of the most important things that you should do when you get an import. Most of these cars all have all these hoses on here that are like nearly 20 years old. They're old and brittle and they break and they split, and once you start wanting to use it like a normal car and drift it and have fun and race it, they obviously break. And that's one of the first things, and I was going to do this video of like all the first things you should do when you buy an import and a Skyline, replace all of these items. So anyways, that's why I kept putting it off, because I wanted to do that video all in one hit, and I was just collecting all the parts. But obviously I need to get this over and done with now. I got a drift event, so yeah, we're going to do this today. It's going to be a little bit of a bitch, but we should be okay. I think what I'm going to have to do is maybe take out this maybe I can get away with it. I'm not sure. I need to take off the airflow meter first and then see if I can get in there with the screwdriver to undo all the hose clamps and pull it out. And if I can do that, that would be amazing, because it's a real pain in the butt, as I said, to get in there. So we're going to do that today. I'm sorry I've been talking for ages. That was a huge explanation. I hope you understand everything and why I'm doing it. So anyways, I'm going to get to it now, throw you on the time lapse, and let's get started. All right, guys, so good news is everything's back together. I unfortunately broke my little Y joiner for the vacuum line, so I'm just running it off the vacuum line from the charcoal canister for now for my boost controller. I'm going to duck down to the hardware store and get another one and fix that later. But overall, everything's working as it should now. The car's been idling now for about 15-20 minutes. It's up to temp and it sounds perfectly idle. When I rev it up and it comes down low, it doesn't stall anymore. Listen to this. Before I would do that and it would just completely stall out. So definitely solved the problem there. In fact, I probably need to redo my idle and adjust the IACV so that that's back to normal. But otherwise, I mean, I couldn't be happier right now. it's running the way it should, which means I'll definitely feel a lot better driving this at the drift event than I did before, because you'd be clutch kicking and stuff, right? And if you'd clutch kick, it would sometimes stall. So it was really frustrating. Anyways, so everything's all fixed now. In case you haven't noticed, it is getting darker. So I am going to actually stop working on the car now, pack up my tools, and I'll do fix all the wiring up tomorrow in the boot, and we should be good. All right, guys, so time warping ahead, and it is the next day, and it's time for me to finish up everything in here that I did temporarily just to get the car driving last night. As I did say, I temporarily hooked up the vacuum line to the vacuum line for the charcoal canister for my boost solenoid as a temporary way to make sure my turbo wasn't over boosting while I had to drive the car last night. I had to kind of do a bit of an emergency last night. Ben just flew in again for the drift event, and he accidentally got on the wrong train, ended up in Tochigi, which is 3 hours away from here, and his hotel's around the corner because my parents are staying with me right now, so he couldn't stay with me. Anyways, I had to pick him up at like 1 o'clock at the train station, or I think it was like 12:30ish, and then I brought him back to my house. He crashed on the couch because he missed his I can't even talk. He missed his check-in time, and yeah, it was a bit crazy last night. So anyways, we're finally fixing that. I managed to find a vacuum tee. This is the last one I've been able to, that I have. This was in all the packaging for my Defi gauges, so really lucky I found that. I did order another pack of these from Amazon, so that'll come soon in a few days, and they're just good to always have on you because these do get brittle and break over time. So yeah, I'll clean up everything in here. Then we're going to move to the boot. We're going to finally put all the shielding and the electrical tape on that wiring and zip tie it all up out of the way and tuck it in. So that'll be nice. And then I can start packing the car ready for the drift event on Wednesday. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, so I finished tidying up everything. All the vac lines now got zip ties on, holding them on. I have to say that zip ties actually seem to hold these on really well. So I always kind of doubted when I saw people using zip ties on vac lines, but now that I've done it myself, I'm like, oh wow, they actually work really well. So yeah, got all the zip ties on the vac lines for my solenoid, boost solenoid, which then goes to the turbo's actuator. And then the vac line comes along here to the little T, and they're all zip tied up as well. I also got where is it? I'm just trying to think. This line here, this coolant line that goes to the throttle body. The old kind of clamp, let's see if I can find an example. This kind of clamp, the one where you like squeeze the top, was on there, and that was a bit loose and it was leaking, so I replaced that with a little hose clamp. Always a good thing to have a little pack of hose clamps with you, especially in your car when you're drifting, because they're just really good to have as backups in emergency situations and stuff. You can generally fix a lot of things with them. So anyways, everything's all tidied up here. That's looking awesome. We're going to go to the back now. I'm going to set you guys up on the time lapse, and I am going to start wrapping all this wiring that you see here that's just been flopping around in all the shielding and stuff that I have here, electrical tape and zip ties, and get that all tidied up now. So I'm going to get started on that. Let's go. Alright, so it's starting to get dark, so hopefully you can see all this. But as you can see, and as you saw in the time lapse, all the wiring is now all ducted up. I had a whole bunch of ducting that I managed to order off Amazon, and with the electrical tape and the zip ties, everything's nice and clean in there. No more wires hanging around. And I'm going to take the car out for a drive, and I want you guys to listen to the crazy awesome new dose sounds that my car makes because of that silicone intake pipe that I added. It's seriously, it makes that doo-doo-doo-doo noises. It's friggin' awesome. Anyways, let's jump in the car and go for a drive. So there's still a little bit of light out on the streets, and I'll just do a quick little pull down here so you can hear it in first. It sounds so awesome. I'll get out on the main road and I'll turn the mic around and hopefully you can hear it a bit better. Man, I have no idea why, but now that my car makes that noise, every time I hear it, it just gives me the biggest smile and I feel so happy. Oh my gosh, so cool. Anyways, guys, tomorrow is Monday and I've got the day off as well, so I'm going to spend a bit of time maybe getting the car ready as well. Then I've got a whole bunch of running around to do to up garage and stuff. But I'm putting another gauge there on the dash to put my 4 back. And then I'm getting another wire tomorrow from Defi. It's a gauge linker, so I can run the wire from the gauge out from that side over to my pillar and put my boost gauge there. But otherwise, I think that about wraps up this video. I need to edit this out and get it ready for Monday morning. So this is literally Sunday night now. And I need to go home and hang out with the parents for a bit because I don't know if I've said this yet. I'm pretty sure I have, but the parents are all here with us and they're spending time and catching up, which is always good. As I always say, it's always important to spend time with family and, you know, catch up, especially when you live in another country to them. But yeah, guys, thanks heaps for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. You can hear my diff clunking away. And I'll catch you on the next one. Ciao, mata ne. Bye bye.